my peeps who are here for hamstrings and glutes, you can absolutely get by with doing this whole workout with dumbbells only. I will offer a couple different options for hamstring curls if you are doing this workout from home today. Obviously, this is my home setup. I have a shallow bench I'm going to bring in for hip thrust complex. I have a 50-pound dumbbell, which I'll be using for heavy dumbbell sumo squats. I have 30s here. I have 20s, 15s. I don't think we'll need anything super light. Aside from if you're taking the hamstring curl in the lying position on your belly, bringing in a moderate dumbbell. So if you want, you know, a 10 for that, a 15 for that, an 8 for that, then those are your options. I'll be using a Swiss ball, and I will be grabbing that in just a sec. I will do a very, very quick dynamic stretch before we get into the full workout today. I'll get into the details really quick. Just getting my music up, my cheat sheet back up. Okay. Off with 4 sets of heavy sumo squat pauses. So we've got 8 to 10 pauses at the bottom of that rep. We're going to alternate that with glute focus RDL pauses. So lots of pauses when we're at home. We've got a kickstand RDL coming in after that with our hamstring curls, and then we finish with a hip thrust complex, like I said. So it's going to be a kickstand hip thrust. We're going to go right from one leg right to the other side, finish with 10 casts, followed by a 10-second isometric hold. So that's going to be a standalone burnout, if you will. So we're going to have 3 sets of that. All right, so before we get into the stretching, let me grab my Swiss ball. If you've got a Swiss ball at home, that's your preferred method for hamstring curls, go for it. My goodness. Okay. So I'm going to be in need of my 50-pound dumbbell and my 30-pound dumbbells coming in this first set. Let's get it started with some inchworms into a hip opener. So I'm just going to go 3 quick inchworms. You can use whatever dumbbells work for you for glute focused RDLs. You could even use a barbell if you prefer. And we've got 12 to 15 reps of those. Ooh. Love this stretch right here. Ooh. Getting both of the hip flexors nice and loose, open, ready to go. Pedal those feet. Good. Slowly inchworm those feet toward the hands. We're going to grab the front part of those toes. Last one, stay down, bring those elbows in between the knees and kind of push those knees apart, sitting in that yogi squat. Kind of just rocking side to side, getting in your imbalance as well. if you weren't sure if your hips were tight or not, oh my gosh, getting in this position is eye-opening. Kind of don't want it to end though. All right, we're gonna finish with some windshield wipers and then get into it. So seated position, hands right by the hips. Get enough separation here where you can drop that knee toward the ground as if you're squishing an imaginary ball here. I love this stretch because it always feels hard, and then towards the end feels easier, looser. But the thought of squishing an imaginary ball to the floor with your knee in those first couple reps, like, wait, what? I can barely bend my knee. Now we're getting into it. Let's go one more each side. All right, so good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's get into superset number 1. So 8 to 10 holds. All right, so don't forget about that hold at the bottom, or that pause at the bottom here. Don't cheat that. Come up. You want to keep the knees soft even at the highest point in your rep. You want to make sure your hips are traveling as straight down as possible. Yes, you can have a slight hinge at the hip to really get into the hamstrings and glutes in this movement, but we don't want to be collapsing forward or being in a hinge like a deadlift. Okay, this is a squat at the end of the day. You can also opt to kind of put yourself in sumo position using like a hack squat machine at the gym, or you can back sumo in a back squat using a barbell. I don't really feel that's always comfortable unless you're elevating your heels in some way. So this is my preferred position in a sumo, whether I'm at home or at the gym. If you have access to heavier weights at the gym, then that's fantastic. But this position allows me to get nice and deep into that hold. And really, really does, when your angles are correct and when the movement quality is there, it really helps get in the outer glutes. If you're feeling any sort of back pain in that position, first reevaluate your weight selection, but also you want to double check your angle and how static you are in your movement path. So if I'm hinged, that means I'm hinged all the way to the deepest point and all the way up. So I'm not doing this and I'm not doing this, okay? A little bit wider than a regular stiff leg RDL here. Bring those shoulders down the back. Tuck that chin to chest. Pinch to the deepest point. Hold. So 12 to 15 reps, getting a bit higher in that rep range, which is why I like using moderate to maybe borderline heavy weights, but not anything crazy for a move like that. You're not going to be able to add that pause effectively if you're going too heavy. So that's a benefit from working out at home. Adding that pause, really creating that extra time under tension, and creating enough rep range where I was burning at rep number 12, and I chose to keep going, but you should be able to really feel that burn, that fatigue, even get pretty close to failure, even though you're not going super heavy with that move. If you're still recovering, continue to recover for up to 2 minutes or so. I'm going to go right into set number 2. Now it's important, I feel like I was a little bit too wide actually in my first set. You don't want to feel like you're getting a stretch. Like, you just want to be slightly wider than your regular squat stance, toes pointed slightly out. I realized I was almost totally duck-footed. So it doesn't matter how long you've been lifting, certain tendencies may begin to show up. It's always important to check in with that form, feet placement especially, angles, where is your chin, where's your gaze, where's your shoulders, how engaged is your core. That checklist is pretty long. So if you're truly lifting properly, that means you're checking all of those things every single rep. Good, don't cheat that hold. 2 down, 2 to go. 2 down, 2 to go. Say 2 down, 2 to go. Something we don't talk about often, but if you have the opportunity to cool it down immediately after your workout, especially legs, please do it immediately after. If you can't, cool it down at some point in your day. So if you've got to jump on a call after this, you've got to drop the kids off, you have no time, make time at some point in your day for a cool down walk. Do some work on a walking pad. Do something to flush the lactic acid, and then stretch before bed. At the bare minimum, get some stretching in. The very end of the day, take 5 minutes to do it. Your body's going to thank your yesterday's self for preparing you with less soreness in your next workout. And technically this is the last leg workout in your week, but nobody wants to be sore or extra sore. You know, a good amount of soreness is fine, but if you can reduce it, reduce it. Three down, 1 to go. Woo. 3 down, 1 to go. I'm gonna check my next move. Cool, cool, cool. Kickstand RDLs, hamstring curls. 8 to 10 each. We love an 8 to 10 situation. Whew. I do also love a 12 to 15 rep situation when it calls for it. Here we go. Last set, best set. Try not to focus too much on the reps that you have in front of you or the reps you've already done. Focus on the 1 rep you're in. That's the most important rep. Being fully present and aware of the rep that you're in. actively getting my hamstring curls ready. We're going to start with those. We're going to give those wrists and the forearms a quick little breather. All right. I am securing my cleat and my dumbbell to operate as a barrier because this position is awkward, but I love it, or I like it way more than a dumbbell hamstring curl. So here we go. 8 to 10 reps. It's always a little bit of trial and error with this guy, especially if you've got a slippery ball and slippery shoes. I'm going to try it off the mat next round. See if that makes any difference at all. 8 to 10 kickstand RDLs. Oh my goodness. Going a little bit heavier than I thought that I would for my kickstand RDLs. So that's why I'm maxing out at 8 there. Quick recovery, one more set. Burnout is coming. We don't call it a burnout for nothing. So a couple different cues for those kickstand RDLs. Number one, 95% of the work is supposed to be in that leading leg. You want to keep that back knee soft keeping that chin tucked to chest, just like a regular RDL. And you want to really focus on driving those hips back. As you come up though, actively bring in that other glute to engage. This way, you're really engaging both outer glutes. That's the focus in a kickstand RDL, as opposed to stiff leg or glute focused. So that's how you're gonna really get the most out of that movement. That's how you're gonna stretch time under tension. Whether I stick with 30s in the last set or drop it down, I'm gonna do my best to stick with those 30s because it's definitely a challenge. Last set, best set. Hamstring curls are not my best friend, but we do them, right? We do the lunges, we do the hamstring curls, we do the Bulgarians, we do the shit that we don't necessarily feel like doing. It's a weakness, not a strength. The only way you improve your weaknesses is to do them, is to work them. Last set, best set. If you're not in need of recovery right now, you probably could have done more. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you may not want to hear it, but that's the reality. Okay. My plan here, I'm going to see how I feel with a 30-pound dumbbell, going single leg, swapping that for the 50 when it comes time. And I'm going to use that first set to gauge how I want to progress in sets 2 and 3. That's my plan. There's a lot of reps in this complex, so I definitely don't want to burn myself out. Play smart. If you're still recovering, continue to recover. If you're ready to go, here's the position. Kickstand. Just like the RDLs, one leg is along for the ride. Other leg is doing the work. 95% of the work. We're going to switch. We're going to go into cast. That's when I'm going to switch my weights out. And then we finish with a 10-second hold. 10 each. we're staying at the top of that rep. Last rep, 10-second hold. Cool. All right. So I definitely want to go heavier in the regular cast and 10-second hold. So in order to do that, I'm going to bring in one of my cable resistance bands. One or two. And just potentially keep the same weight all throughout, or maybe I'll change it out again. I really want you to kind of allow your body to tell you your next best move. So eliminate any mindset blocks about weights that you don't think that you can lift or progressions that you don't think that you can make. And I want you to give yourself the freedom to just try. Guess what? If it's too much, if you can't complete all of the reps or get anywhere close, the worst thing that can happen is you reduce the weight back to what you were using. There is zero risk involved if you are comfortable and confident in your form and your movement quality, and you're looking to really take it to the next level. You'll never actually get to the next level if you don't do the things to try first, and then let your body dictate. If this is too much, cool, I'll throw the dumbbell away. Good. Awesome. I wanted to get to that point of shaking. So now I know what to do to get there and do that same exact thing again. Last set, best set. We're gonna finish strong. We're gonna get our reps in. We're gonna be present. We're gonna focus on each individual rep at a time in the time and we're performing it. We're not getting ahead. We're not looking behind. If you feel your mind is wandering, your attention's going somewhere else, you're getting distracted, cool. Just bring yourself back to your own breath, like meditation. Bring yourself, have a reset word. Okay, so whether that reset word is focus or rep or something that's gonna bring you right back to the thing that you should be focused on, or bring yourself back to your own breath pattern. And this is literally how you shift your focus. You shift your focus and you get very good at redirecting when your focus wanders. You'll become unstoppable in everything that you do. Because we're not predicting what may go wrong. We're not in the future. We're not in the past. We're literally right here in this moment together. And when you're here, wherever you are, be there. Be here. The next thing that you do in your day, be there fully. Dropping your kids off, be present with them. In a work meeting, be present with your coworkers. This is not the time to get worried or anxious about tomorrow or this evening or this weekend. Be focused and present and you will be unstoppable, I promise you. Way to focus, way to breathe through that shaking, way to not cheat yourself, way to show up and give your absolute best. Cool down, stretch, drink your water, eat your protein, eat your carbs. Move outside of this workout today. You can do hard things. You just did one. So go slay the rest of your day. I'll see you next time.